Somewhere in your county, there's a house with a generator sitting on a concrete pad beside it. $12,000 installed. It ran its self-test every Wednesday afternoon, right on schedule, for 6 years. Then the power actually went out, and it didn't start. The homeowner calls the electrician who put it in. And the electrician says the sentence nobody wants to hear on day 3 of an outage. I can't get the part. Not it's expensive. Not it's back-ordered. Can't get it. Because the control board inside that machine only sells to an authorized dealer, the nearest dealer for that badge is 4 states away, and the company that built it went through bankruptcy court in 2020. $9,200. Hold on to that number. $9,200 is the difference between a generator that gets fixed on day 3 and a generator that becomes a very expensive place to set a potted plant. Here's what licensed electricians worked out years before homeowners did. When a contractor tells you he won't put a certain brand on your house, he is almost never talking about the engine. He's talking about what happens in year 6. When the board fails and he's the one standing in your yard with a phone to his ear. The parts network is the product. The engine is just what came in the crate. So here's where we're going. First, 7 units and categories that electricians push back on, and the exact mechanical reason for each one. Not vibes, receipts. Second, the 8 brand names that get accused of being blacklisted standby units when the truth is stranger. They don't sell a standby generator at all. And then, right at the end, 3 questions you can answer in about 30 seconds, standing in the driveway before you spend $1. One of them is when your warranty actually starts. Almost everybody gets that one wrong, and it costs them the whole warranty. Everything I'm about to do to these 7, I've already done for every machine you own. 7 guides in the No BS Buyer's Vault. The generator breakdown does the sizing math so you don't burn $800 on the wrong unit, and the Warranty and Dealer Playbook lays out exactly what voids your coverage and how to make a claim stick. One bad standby decision is a 5-figure mistake. The whole vault is $47. PrimeRundown.com. QR codes on screen, links pinned. And I won't bring it up again. PrimeRundown.com. Let's get into it. Number 1. The standby generator that isn't a standby generator. Furman, Westinghouse, Duramax, iPower, Pulsar, Sportsman, Rainier, GenMax. 8 names you'll see attached to phrases like whole house power and home backup and transfer switch ready. Search any of them, plus the words home standby, and you'll find forum threads swearing electricians refuse to install them. Here's the mechanism. Those electricians aren't refusing the brand. There is nothing to refuse. As of this recording, not one of those 8 sells a permanently installed automatic start home standby unit. They're portable generator companies. Every one of them. The receipt on this is about as clean as it gets. Duramax says it out loud in their own support documentation. Their portables are not compatible with automatic transfer switch systems and are designed to operate with manual power transfer. Westinghouse's own generator catalog is portables and inverters, top to bottom. And if you go to HomeDepot.com and click into the home standby category filtered to Furman or Westinghouse, you get an empty shelf. No products. So what's actually happening in your driveway is this. You bought a $900 transfer switch ready portable. You called an electrician to wire it in like the automatic unit your neighbor has, and he told you no. He wasn't insulting the machine. He was telling you it does not do the thing you think you bought. The honest caveat: transfer switch ready portables are legitimately good machines, and paired with the right switch they'll carry your house. That's a real setup. It just isn't an automatic standby, and the install runs $600 to $1,200 on top of the generator. Per working electricians pricing that job today. Number 2. The switch nobody looked at. Everybody shops the generator. Almost nobody shops the transfer switch, which is genuinely strange, because the switch is the part that's live when everything else is dead. The mechanism is a listing. Transfer switches are expected to carry a UL 1008 listing. The generator assembly itself is expected to carry UL 2200. Those aren't marketing badges. They're the standards an inspector checks against, and they're what your insurance carrier is quietly assuming is true. Why does an electrician care more than you do? Because if the switch isn't listed, he can get red tagged on the inspection, and he eats the return trip and the replacement. One industry survey of switches sold without the 1008 listing found nearly a third of them failed outright in testing. That's not a performance gap. That's a coin flip on the one component standing between generator power and utility power. I want to be precise here, because this is a category problem, not a brand accusation. I did not find a current production major brand standby switch missing that listing. Generac's Power Series transfer switch, for example, states plainly that the full assembly is listed to UL 1008. The risk lives in the cheap universal switches and the gray market kits people buy online to save $400. So the caveat is simple: don't assume it's missing, verify that it's there. Number 3. The orphans. On July 20th, 2020, Briggs & Stratton filed Chapter 11. KPS Capital Partners bought substantially all the assets for roughly $550 million. That's not gossip. That's the 8K filing and KPS's own press release. The mechanical consequence landed on homeowners. The old Briggs standby line, the Fortress units, 8 kilowatt up through 26 kilowatt, got largely discontinued. Go pull those model numbers up at the old retailers and you'll read the same 4 words over and over. This product has been discontinued. That's what an orphan is. The machine still runs. It's just that the parts pipeline behind it thinned out, and every electrician who touches it becomes the guy explaining why a board is a 6-week question instead of a 2-day question. Now here's where somebody's brother-in-law is going to correct you in the comments, so let's get ahead of it. Briggs did not abandon the standby market. In October of 2023, the line came back as PowerProtect. 13 kilowatt up to 26 kilowatt new gas technology sold and supported today under Briggs & Stratton Energy Solutions. If you buy a new PowerProtect this month, you are buying a supported product. The orphan problem is specifically about the legacy units on pads right now. Getting that distinction right is how you don't get played by somebody who read one headline in 2020. Number 4. Champion's Axis and the closed loop. Champion is the one genuine bargain tier player that actually does build a home standby. Give them that. What gets electricians cautious is the architecture around it. The Axis generator requires an Axis automatic transfer switch for full functionality, not a switch, the switch. It is not backwards compatible with Champion's own earlier transfer switches. That's from the product documentation, not from me. So the generator and the switch are a matched pair, and your future replacement options are whatever Champion is selling that year. Second piece, how service actually flows. Champion leans on manufacturer phone and email support first. They advertise free lifetime technical support, and warranty repairs have to go through an authorized service center. Their warranty language is direct about it. Repairs at an unauthorized facility will not be covered. For an independent electrician, that's the whole problem in one sentence. He can install it. He cannot warranty it. And when you call him in year 4, he has to tell you to call a phone number instead. The caveat, and it's a real one, Champion does run an actual home standby dealer locator with real installing dealers. It isn't phone only. And their warranty is 10 years. Years 1 and 2 covering parts, labor and travel, years 3 through 10 parts only. That's longer than anything the big 3 offer. If there's a Champion dealer near you, this changes considerably. Number 5. Cummins Quiet Connect. The good one you might not be able to get fixed. This is the item that proves the thesis, because there is nothing wrong with the machine. Quiet Connect is a well-built unit with a strong warranty, 5 years or 2,000 hours, with parts, labor and travel covered on the front end. The mechanism is geography. Cummins requires professional installation by an authorized dealer or by a qualified electrical contractor, and warranty work has to be completed by an authorized Cummins dealer or distributor. That's their published language, which is fine if there's one near you. The residential dealer footprint is thinner than the market leaders. When Cummins launched the Quiet Connect line back in 2017, they were pointing at a network of more than 500 dealers. That number is 9 years old now, and I'm not going to pretend I know today's figure. But nobody credible claims Cummins covers residential like Generac does. Second person, so you can feel it. You buy the better machine. It runs beautifully for 4 years. Then it throws a fault at 11 at night in the middle of an ice storm, and the nearest authorized dealer is 140 miles away with a queue 11 houses deep. Your unit is fine. Your access is the problem. The caveat, where a Cummins dealer exists, installers put them in cheerfully. This isn't a knock on the brand. It's a knock on buying a brand your zip code can't support. Number 6, the clause. And this is the one I want you to read twice. Every one of the major standby brands sells you a warranty. Here's the part that doesn't make the brochure. For generac, for kohler, now operating under the name Relco, for Cummins, and for Champion. That warranty does not begin when you pay. It begins at authorized startup and activation. Read that twice. The coverage clock starts when a factory-authorized technician performs the commissioning, not when the money leaves your account, and not when the unit lands on the pad. That's not one company's fine print. That's 4 companies. 4 separate warranty documents, same structure. Generac's 5-year limited warranty and their own published home standby FAQ both condition coverage on activation and on an authorized service dealer. Kohler's owner support does the same through startup registration. Cummins and Champion Rote Warranty work through authorized dealers by name. Sit with what that means. If you buy the unit online, have your own excellent licensed electrician set it and wire it, and nobody schedules the authorized startup, you own a generator with no warranty. Not a reduced warranty. It never started. This is the actual reason electricians push back on brands with thin dealer coverage, and it has almost nothing to do with the engine. He knows he can do the install correctly, and you will still be uncovered, and he knows whose fault you'll say that is. Tell me in the comments which badge is on the pad beside your house, and whether you know who services it. I read those. Number 7. The market leader and the locked door. Generac owns roughly 75% of the North American residential standby market. If you have a standby generator, odds are 3 in 4 it's theirs. And they earned a chunk of that honestly. That dealer network is the deepest in the industry by a wide margin. So what's the objection? 2 things, and neither one is the engine. First, the controller. The Evolution controller gates its maintenance reset and dealer edit menus behind a passcode that is not available to the consumer. Starting with Evolution 2.0, firmware 1.10, the controllers began shipping encrypted, which is documented publicly, because it broke the open-source monitoring project that hobbyists had been using to watch their own units. That's an active developer thread on GitHub, not a rumor. Second, the program. Generac's dealer structure ties selling requirements to dealer standing, which is disclosed in their own annual filing. Combine that with a warranty that starts at authorized activation and you get the shape of it, an independent electrician can absolutely install a generac and service the mechanicals. What he can't do is get inside the controller's diagnostics. On the deep faults, the door is locked and he isn't holding a key. And now the correction, because I'd rather say this than let a comment say it for me. Generac generates more complaints than any other standby brand. That is true, and it is close to meaningless on its own. When you hold 3/4 of a market, you will generate the most complaints in absolute numbers, even if your failure rate per unit is average or better. That's a denominator, not an indictment. Anyone who shows you a raw complaint count without a market share denominator is selling you a feeling. Nobody in Wisconsin built a locked controller to strand you in an ice storm. What happened is quieter and, honestly, more durable dealer-gated diagnostics protect the dealer channel. The dealer channel funds the service network, and the service network is the reason a generac board shows up in 2 days when an orphan board takes 6 weeks. The lock and the coverage are the same system. You are not choosing between them. So, what do the pros put on their own houses? Here's the answer that surprised me, and it shows up over and over in electrician forums, Mike Holt, the trade boards, the tractor forums. A large share of them don't install automatic standby on their own homes at all. They run a listed interlock kit and a good portable. The plate itself runs $40 to $150 in parts. Call it $350 to $400 installed if somebody else does it. Their reasoning is unsentimental. For an outage every couple of years, they'd rather walk outside and pull a cord than finance 5 figures of automation. I'll flag that clearly. That's tradesman sentiment from public forums, not a survey. But it's remarkably consistent sentiment. And when they do go stand by for themselves, they don't buy the badge, they buy the pipeline. Installers describe running 22 kilowatt generac units on their own property and being satisfied. Parts are everywhere, dealers are everywhere, the controller is a known quantity, which is the whole thesis eating its own tail. The brand with the most locked controller is also the brand with the most parts, and for a lot of pros, the parts win. Now, 9,200. That's how many residential dealers generac reported at the end of 2024, up 500 from the year before. Independent market analysts put it more conservatively at more than 7,000. Take whichever number you like. Then set it next to the number of authorized in-home standby service dealers behind those 8 portable-only brands from item 1. 0, because there's no standby product to service. That gap is the entire video in one comparison. Not horsepower, not decibels, not warranty years on a brochure. Who shows up? So here's your 30-second test, and you can run it right now on your phone. Question 1. Who services this within 50 miles? Every real standby brand publishes a locator. Generac, Kohler under Relco, Cummins, Champion, and Briggs PowerProtect all have one. Type in your zip code. If a brand has no standby dealer locator at all, that's your answer. It's a portable, and someone's about to sell you an install it can't accept. Question 2. Whose controller is in it? Generac runs Evolution. Kohler runs its RDC family. Cummins runs Power Command. Champion runs Axis. If the salesman can't name the controller, he can't tell you who's able to diagnose it either. Question 3. And this is the one that actually costs money. When does my warranty start? If the answer isn't an authorized startup, he's guessing. Ask him who performs that startup, get the appointment scheduled in writing before the unit ships, and keep the confirmation. That one piece of paper is the difference between a 5-year warranty and a decoration. 3 questions. 30 seconds. Before the deposit, not after. Because here's what I keep coming back to. Electricians aren't refusing these generators. Most of them will install whatever you put in the driveway and hand you the invoice. What they're refusing is to be the last person holding a machine nobody can get parts for. Somebody is going to be that person in year 6. Run the 3 questions and make sure it isn't you. PrimeRundown.com if you want the rest of the map. YouTube thinks you'll like one of these 2 videos, so go ahead and click one. And if you made it to the end, subscribe